Well, it's early morning. The sun is fully up at least, so we've got that going for us. But today, the plan is, other than, feeding everyone and doing all that. Thank you. Today, that's Jabba, by the way. Jabba is over here, sitting over there. Because, Jabba is Jabba. But the plan today is there's starting to be a lot of ice because things are starting to, look over here, ducks. But things are starting to be a little bit icy because things are starting to melt. So there's quite a bit of ice happening. So what we're going to end up doing is Shadowfax likes to poop in that corner by the door. So because he likes to poop there, what we're going to do is we're going to rake that poop, or the stuff that's melted anyway, we're going to rake that and start raking that out into the pen so that he has something to walk on. I know it sounds gross, but that's actually kind of what we have to do. It's kind of like adding down mud or sand, kind of a mix. It almost has that consistency once it breaks down. And if we rake it out there, it actually provides him some grip so that he doesn't end up, there goes Jabba, but so he doesn't end up slipping. And if you're wondering which chicken is on the fence over there, that is Houdini. But what happens is that kind of creates a layer of grip for Shadowfax, so he is actually able to not slip, because that's the biggest worry. That is the biggest thing that we have to deal with when it starts getting warm like this. And it's really sunny, so I have to squint. But it's the biggest thing that goes on is the constant melting and freezing and melting and freezing, because it is sunny enough that things start to melt during the day. It's not particularly warm, hence the gloves, but it is starting to melt. So what happens when it starts to melt is it also turns to ice. Like where I'm walking right now is pretty slick. So I have little kind of grippies on the bottom of my shoes because I don't want to slip, because it would suck. So because of that, we have to make sure that Shadowfax doesn't slip. He's the one you have to worry about because he's got those flat hooves. He's not a goat. Goats are pretty good in snow and ice, but horses are not. So because horses aren't great at snow and ice, you have to actually be really careful and make sure you don't end up in a position where they simply can't function because they can't walk. So we don't want a broken leg. We don't want anything like that. So because we don't want anything like that, what we have to make sure we do is just double check that everything is raked out and not sloppy. The other thing I might do is, as things are melting on the rabbit pen side, you can see we kind of have some rabbit manure showing up. Might scoop some of that and throw that in the horse pen, because rabbits aren't going to slip and break an ankle. The horse might. So that's kind of what we're doing, trying to make sure that nobody slips, nobody gets hurt. And really, it's horses. You've got to watch with horses because they absolutely can slip, fall, break a leg. And once that happens, you're kind of toast. So we want to make sure he is safe. So we're going to do that this afternoon. Hopefully that helps. For now, we're mostly just trying not to slip. It's getting very, very icy. This is going to be us for the next month, icy like this. So hopefully we can take care of a little bit of that. We'll see. Well, time to do a little bit of raking. So a lot of it's still going to be frozen because that's the way it is. Things get very frozen where I am. But a lot of the top layer should be melted. So I'm going to be able to just scrape that top layer, pull it out into the run so Shadowfax doesn't slip. So I will set up the camera and you can watch this very, very high, very boring part, because that's what this is. Literally everything I do is very boring. So that literally does not take very long. It doesn't. Oops. But it is important. Now, I know it sounds gross, but most of it is already broken down, and I'm walking on some of what I put down. I just raked it up from the corner he poops. And he's behind me. There he is. But I just raked it out from that particular spot and made it so that it's less slippery, because it's very, very slippery. And egg. I already grabbed eggs this morning, but doesn't hurt to grab another. Hi chickens, hi turkey. Excuse me, Sauron. Thank you. There's a chicken in my way. Turkey behind me. Hi. There's a pony. Always coming to harass me. Yeah, you're wet. Maybe if you stop standing under all the water, you wouldn't get wet. But it sounds gross, I know, raking the poop out into the run. But it's just to protect him from slipping on the ice. And yes, I could get another round of sand, which I'm going to do. But that's not as helpful because it's hard to get sand delivered in the winter. So we literally use what we've got. And I've got a feed bag and a rake. Step over that. Go put my rake away and put this feed bag in the fire bin. Start my next fire pile. I'm not lighting a fire today, but I am going to... Okay, the chickens are there. I was like, where are the chickens? They're in the black one sitting in the doorway, so she just looked like a shadow. I was like, oh no, there's no chickens. No, there's chickens. It's fine. We're not going to worry about it. But I'm not starting a fire today because I don't need to. And it literally only takes a few minutes a day to rake out the poop like that every day when it's warm. I'm just going to drop the rake. This way, the fire pit. But it literally doesn't take very much time, so it's worth doing, because that literally took me about 5 minutes. It's literally it. It's one of the easiest tasks, and it keeps Shadowfax from slipping. So I'll do a little bit more tomorrow. Feed bag in the fire pit. We're not really burning anything in the fire pit tonight. There's only a feed bag in there. But it sounds gross. I know sometimes it looks gross, but poop happens on a farm anyway. So might as well use it. And then as soon as everything's done melting and I don't have to worry about ice, we just scoop it all out of the pan, throw it in our compost pile, and then that's that. We use it for the gardens. So multi-purpose poop, which is kind of the best way to do things if you can. Use things multiple times. No one has infinite money. So that's mostly what we do. Because we're pretty boring, we're pretty drama-free here. We don't really have much that happens. So, put my rake back where I got it, so I know where it is tomorrow. There we go. But there's not a ton that happens. So, because there's not a ton that happens, it's really not much to watch, to be honest. That's why I do a lot of structured videos. Anyway, why is the music on? I don't know. The music is on in the gazebo. I don't know why. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that was my big task for today. Meaning it was a little task. Everything else is just basic little things. You know, gathering eggs. I have to give that mini horse a bath because he's disgusting. But we're not doing that until it's warm. Because even though things are melting, it is not warm enough to give a bath. We don't want everyone to be drenched. Even though he's wet because he's right now standing underneath the drip from the roof there. So he's wet anyway. But we're not going to add to it and create more problems than we need to create. Also, I'm just going over here, check on our rabbits, do a head count, because you guys are butt heads. Head count, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? 4? Oh, 5. It's okay. No cause to panic. They're all here. They're all here. There we go. I'm not great with the mirror mode. So sometimes getting the camera to point where I want it to point, it's not great. Bunny in the back there. That's a boy, by the way. So, anyone can make a mistake gendering babies. I usually check them again at 6 weeks, but because these were the ones we were keeping anyway, I didn't bother checking because it didn't matter whether Silverado was a boy or a girl. But yeah, Silverado in the corner back there is a boy. Which means these ladies are all pregnant. And if we look, Andersen there, the brownish one, she's a caster. The brownish one next to Deli, she's going to have to get locked down pretty soon because she looks pregnant from here. I'm not even touching her, and she looks chonky. So we're going to have to move her sooner rather than later, which means I'm probably going to move her like Wednesday, Thursday. I'm probably going to move her tomorrow, let's be honest. But that's because she's obviously carrying, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Mostly because why would it matter? We breed anyway. And let's be honest, if I had to pick a gentleman, it would either be Falcon, who's in the next pen, or Silverado, who's quite the beautiful boy and going into the hole because he can. Hi, you're a beautiful boy. Also, at this age, you can kind of tell because he doesn't have the same size dewlap as other rabbits. But Andersen there is a big girl. So we're going to have to get her moved as soon as possible. Because we can. So we're going to get that lady moved. Anyway, that is about what we're doing for right now. Crooked. Of course we're crooked. Always crooked. We love being crooked. That's about it for what we're doing right now. Obviously, we are not done for the day. It's only midday. So we got stuff to do. And that stuff to do involves many other little tiny tasks, little things. Like I have to make butter tonight again. Yes, I know I just made butter the other day, but butter making happens every 2 days here because we go through it. So I have to make some butter. I have to feed the chickens in the house and the other house. I've got to feed them. And worry about moving those rabbits because that's, what's going on right now. So, what are you going to do? Anyway, we will come back later on today because you don't need to follow me around while I fill food bowls. It's not that interesting. Well, sun is going down. Tristan is out there checking waters. Rowan did feed his girls. And I think I mentioned yesterday that Silverado might be a boy in the girls' pen. Silverado is a boy. So, knowing that, we have, I'm just going to flip the camera around here. There we go. There she is. We have Mistress Andersen in here because there's a real good chance she's pregnant. Like a real good chance she's pregnant. So she's in here for a couple weeks to see if she has babies. That's the way it goes. So let's go back out here. There we go. So because he's definitely a boy, we double checked. So misgendering rabbits happens, especially when I didn't really check since they were like 3 weeks old. So because that is something I didn't check, I didn't double check. Turns out we had a boy in with our girls. It's not really a big deal for us. For some people it would be a big deal. It's not a big deal for us because frankly we were going to breed them shortly anyway. So chances are girls are pregnant. So Andersen looks like she's the chonkiest. So she is definitely the one that we wanted to make sure was put away. We're just going to flip the camera again. There we go. So that's a boy. That's a girl. And that's a girl. And where's Trunk? Trunk's either inside or hiding in the back. There she is. That's Trunk. So yeah, we're going to be moving them over the next few days. Also duck prints. We've definitely had ducks out here. I actually could see the ducks out here. There we go. But yeah, I could see the ducks out here earlier. So we have duck prints everywhere. So mostly today was about raking out poop to make sure Shadowfax didn't slip. Checking ducks. Making sure they were good. Moving that rabbit. We're going to move the other ones as well, but we're doing them one at a time. We did Andersen first because she looks the furthest along. If they don't have babies, we're going to breed 2 of them at the end of the month anyway, so it doesn't matter. Because we want babies out of them anyway. Now, I do know that if you were not intending babies, it could actually be a big deal if you end up with pregnant rabbits unexpectedly. But because it didn't matter to us, I really just never double checked. I never double checked to see who was pregnant. So, like, it didn't matter. Anyway, that is it for today, basically. I'm not going to film in the dark. We do come out one time at around 9 or 10 o'clock at night to make sure everyone is safe and secure in their houses. But we are not particularly worried about that right now. Also, Shadowfax is a disaster. Look at this disaster man. Now, to be fair, it's really mucky. It is so mucky. But look at this disaster man. He is look at that. Mud. He's wet. He's got mud on. Why do you have mud on your ear? Look, muddy ears now? Oh my God, you have muddy ears. Muddy ears. This man has muddy ears. There's Tristan coming with water. Anyway, that's basically what's been going on today. Lots of poop because it's spring. Poop in the spring happens, okay? When you are on a farm, you cannot expect to not have that kind of stuff show up in the spring as the snow melts. It's really gross, but what can you do? Everybody poops. But between that and the animals, making sure the rabbits are secure. I just had a little panic attack. I thought there was an extra rabbit in the boys' side. There's not. It's just Bonnie has big ears. But yeah, that's basically what our day has been. Again, we're not very exciting people, so that was basically the day on the hobby farm. Raking poop, moving rabbits. Oh well, what can you do? Tomorrow does not promise to be any more entertaining.